Can we show you how to break into the luxury market? For most wedding photographers and filmmakers, the business side of running a business doesn't come naturally, but we learned 3 crucial lessons that have led us to doubling and tripling our prices, booking weddings in the luxury market consistently over $10,000 each, allowing us to earn more money while working half the amount that we used to. And now we want to share those lessons with you in our upcoming live 3-day free workshop. We can't wait to share all the tips, the strategies, and the practices that have generated hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue. And here's the best part. It's going to work no matter what stage of business you're in. So you can register now at thelevelupco.com/workshop, and we're going to be cheering to your success in no time.
Hey friends, and welcome to another episode of the Level Up Podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Petrinovich, and I am on my own today because Kelly is in Montana still with her family, soaking up these last few days of summer before the kids go back to school. But I am joined today by a very special guest, Madeline Kuzminsky, who is a filmmaker based in South Carolina, and such a great conversation. We are just coming off of our All-Star series where if you have just found the podcast, I suggest you scroll back 10 to 15 episodes and listen to that All-Star series that lasted a few months because we brought on some of the industry's top wedding planners, photographers, and filmmakers to hear their stories on how they rose to the top of the industry, which is, I think, something that a lot of our listeners are aiming to do. Our podcast is obviously all about helping photographers and filmmakers elevate their businesses into the luxury market. So that's right in alignment with what they have done in their own businesses. But taking a step back, we decided that we want to bring on a few guests who are what maybe we would consider in the trenches in their business. They are in the process of that leveling up, pun fully intended. They are doing the hard work, they are grinding, they are making changes, implementing amazing things in their businesses, which is helping them through the process of growing. And Madeline is a guest who she just started her business 3 years ago, and she's on an amazing trajectory to get to her ultimate goal of charging that $10,000. And during our conversations today, we talk about all the things that she's currently doing, things that she's done in the last 12 months, and what she's going to be doing over the next year or so to continue that growth pattern. And then I also want to, again, invite you in just a few weeks. Kelly and I are hosting a free workshop called Break into the Luxury Market. We couldn't be more excited for that. It is completely free. You can sign up at thelevelupco.com/workshop. It is going to be taking place August 20th, 21st, and 22nd, which is a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern. And you can tune in live. So we're going to be going over some instruction. We have a slide deck prepared for you, a workbook, and we'll get into some Q&A during that as well for some live coaching opportunities. So we couldn't be more excited. And I think that it's such an amazing opportunity and well-timed because we are coming off of a crazy, crazy beginning of summer, rolling into the fall. And if you've been in the industry for a minute, this is generally the time where we start to see the inquiries for the following year. So those 2025 inquiries are starting to pick up the pace. I myself have already booked 3 weddings for 2025 at my highest average and at my highest price point so far. You guys, I'm like giving myself a little champagne toast here by myself because I booked my first wedding north of $20,000. They booked at $22,000. So very proud of myself there. All the hard work has paid off. And if you know us, you know our heart behind this podcast. We truly believe that anything that we accomplish is completely 100% in the cards for anyone who's listening. That's possible for you too. So our mission is to guide you along the way so you can create a highly profitable business and one that continually inspires and invigorates you as an artist as well. So I think I've done long enough of an introduction. Let's get into the podcast interview with Madeline. This is the Level Up Podcast. I'm Taylor Petrinovich.
And I'm Kelly Gilster of 618 Studios.
And we are on a mission to help wedding filmmakers and photographers level up their businesses so you can make more and work less.
We want to help you confidently take your business from mainstream to luxury, and it all starts right here.
Well, Madeline, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be joined.
Yes, I think this is going to be such a fun chat because, according to our listeners, they love hearing about all the filmmakers who and photographers who are sitting at the top of the industry. But what they love even more is listening to the photographers and filmmakers who are kind of in the trenches and in the process of scaling their business. So I think that bringing you on is going to be one that the listeners are going to love.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Yep.
Yeah. So tell us about your business, about yourself. Just give us like a brief overview of who you are.
Yeah, definitely. I am Madeline Kuzminsky Films. I'm based in Charleston, South Carolina, which is actually where I grew up as well. So being in my hometown is really, really fun. But yeah, I started my business in 2021. And so yeah, I guess it's been 3 years, which has been pretty crazy.
3 years. And I have to say, you have come so far in just a short amount of time. And props to you for kind of dodging the 2020 disaster.
Yeah. I was in quite the disaster mode in 2020, but yeah, kind of dodged it. I have a story to tell for that one.
Yeah, I want to hear all about it. First, kind of let's paint a picture for the listeners of what things are looking like today. So you're based in Charleston. What kind of clients are you serving? What is your brand all about? And if you're comfortable talking about price point, we can get into that too.
Yeah. So today, sitting in 2024, my goal is probably 20 to 25 weddings. And eventually I don't even want to be doing that many, but right now with my price point where I'm at, that just seems like a comfortable number. So price point, I start around 5,500, but my average seems to be right now about 6. So eventually I do want to get into close to 9 and 10 maybe next year, but we'll see. 2025 weddings, 5,500 price range. That's at least where I start at. So, yeah.
Amazing. And I mean, 3 years into business, I think that's such a strong place to be sitting because you have now kind of made it past what we call kind of like the more budget or mainstream market. You're heading into the lovely market where I feel like that's where a lot of photographers and filmmakers tend to springboard their career because clients are having a little bit more money to spend. The details are getting prettier. It's a little bit easier to elevate your portfolio. So I feel like it's kind of a sweet spot for a lot of people.
Yeah, agreed. And they definitely have that, room in the budget for videography. So I feel like in the budget market, it's kind of like, we don't really have room for a videographer, so we're just not going to have one. And I'm definitely ready to be serving the clients that really value video. And yeah.
Yeah, I know it's kind of funny, and it's something that probably not a lot of our photographer listeners consider too much because I think that nearly every wedding will have a photographer, but probably only 50% or so do have a videographer. So it can be a little bit of a struggle for us sometimes.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. But I feel like as you establish your brand, you come up with a strategy that works for you in terms of securing bookings in the future. And we can get into that a little bit too. It becomes easier and easier to stand out in a flooded market. And I feel like for so many people, they feel like their market is saturated and it's getting harder and harder to stand out. But we have some strategies that people can implement in order to see that and see it through successfully. But let's talk about your journey. So rewind 3 years. We're sitting back in 2021. It's a baby business that you have just dreamt up. Give us the details.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Well, I would probably rewind even further back. I graduated college in 2019, and I actually started filming sports. So I thought I wanted to go into that realm of things. I thought I wanted to be in front of the camera, which is, I quickly learned that is not what I wanted to do. But I had an internship at a local news station, and I was like, yep, I'm going to be a sideline reporter. Like, that's what I'm going to do. And I told myself I needed to learn what went on behind the camera before I got in front of it. So I was filming all the live streams for college sports, and I thought that's what I really wanted to do. And then I graduated and I was like, that is not what I want to do. So I love sports, but not that much. But it is how I met my husband. So I'm very grateful for that. But so then graduated college and I was like, well, I live in Charleston and I know weddings are a huge thing here. I didn't know quite how big they were, but I knew it was definitely a destination place for weddings. So I kind of was looking around and I got a job with another local company here who taught me so much, and I have so much credit to give to her because she opened my eyes to the world of weddings. So so then that was 2019. Obviously 2020 COVID hit. So I kind of stopped doing that, worked a corporate job for a little while, and for like 7 months. I was like, I'm over this. Like, this is not what I want to do either. So one day I quit, and probably not the best avenue to take, but I did, and I was like, I'm going to start my own business. So I started advertising on, the well-known wedding marketing platforms that we all know and love. I started doing that in 2021 July of 2021. So that's kind of where I started. And after that, I did 8 weddings my first year. And I was like, wow, this could really be something. And my first wedding I actually booked for $1,700.
Ooh, wow.
I know, I'm rich.
That's how we all feel in the beginning. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe somebody paid me that. And then it just
literally
snowballs from there.
I was mind blown because I didn't even have a portfolio to show. I had filmed like 2 weddings on my own for that previous company. And so I was like, hey, can I show these weddings that aren't like affiliated with my company and show them to this client? And she was like, sure. So that was all I had to show. And I thank them for trusting me because that's who got me started.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's business really does start with a very, very trusting client, and we can all owe a lot of thanks to those trusting individuals. Because I know when I was a bride, me and my husband have been married for 9 years now. I would not have been trusting of a newbie.
I know. I always think about that too. I'm like, wow, thanks. Like, really, because I would not be here today. It was on a boat too, so that was a whole other. Yeah, it was wild.
Wow, you got lucky.
Well, it wasn't a nice boat.
Okay.
But it was an experience. So
that's amazing. Okay, great. So you worked for this other company for a little while. You had to pivot, go back to corporate world, realize that that's not for you. Kelly and I like to use the phrase burn the boats. So that means kind of taking one option, like the safe option, off the table to force yourself to kind of go after your goals, go after your dreams. That's what you did, and it worked out because sitting here in 2024, it sounds like your business is doing really, really well, and you're on such a steep trajectory towards that ultimate goal of charging that $9,000, $10,000. So maybe let's talk about a little bit of the things that you're doing, things that you're implementing in order to first scale to the point where you are now, and then also looking over like to the next 12 months or so. So what are a few things that you have done recently?
Yeah, well, the first big one is I invested in education. Obviously, the Level Up Mastermind has been career changing for me. I had never invested in education before, so I was like, I think this is my year. Like, I know I want to take those next steps. So, and I've tried, so many other things, and I think now, like, I need to ask for help from professionals. So, definitely education, and just being open to, not being stuck in your ways and being open to, hearing constructive criticism and taking action. And I feel like I know a lot of people who are kind of stuck in their ways, and I see how it has been hurting their business. And I'm very lucky to have a lot of people I look up to in the industry, and I can be like, I want to do what they're doing, or no, I don't want to go that route. So I think just being open to new things and listening to other people and being willing to learn, and even like stuff with my website. I've had the same website for so long, and you guys helped go through it, and even like Instagram. just being, picky with the things that you're showing online. And I think even my business name, it was, people were like, oh, your business name is so cute. And I'm like, I don't want to be cute,
Okay, so for those who don't know, what was your previous business name?
It was Made Along the Line. And it was Made Along the Line Media, because I didn't know who I was. So I didn't know what I wanted to do. So it was just media. But I made that up in college for a senior year project, and I was like, this is so cool. Like, I'm gonna make films made along the line of what clients are looking for. I thought it was like the coolest thing. So it served me well. But then being, in y'all's mastermind, I realized like I had been thinking about it for a while, and I think y'all finally just like, were the straw that broke the camel's back for me. And I just want to be a little more leveled up.
Pun intended.
Very intended, yes.
Well, it has been such a joy. So we just wrapped up our 12-week mastermind a few weeks ago, and we loved having you in there. And this is kind of one of the things that we like to tell people who are considering joining is Kelly and I do truly believe that our program is unique in the way that we give individualized advice and support. Like we love what we do. We love guiding filmmakers and photographers along their journey to another pun of leveling up their businesses. And we dig into your websites. We dig into your social media. We'll give you the unbiased third-party advice that you need to hear. Like, because we think that everyone who is looking for growth and who wants growth and who believes in themselves enough to take those steps deserves the outcomes of all the fruits of those labors. This industry can feel really, really lonely. This industry can feel very hard and very like an uphill battle. And I don't think it needs to feel that way. I think it can feel very, very fun and empowering and highly profitable. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, definitely. And it can be lonely, but when you find the right people, and I mean, even the mastermind, like we're a part of Facebook groups now that we have so many people to reach out to and give us opinions, and everyone's so nice all the time and very helpful. So
we do. We love our community. I would have to say it's very positive.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, let's talk about your rebrand a little bit. Let's talk about maybe what went into those decisions that you made, why you did it, and then some of the outcomes that you've seen since.
Yeah. I'm the type of person who I don't really sit on things very long. I guess it could be a good and a bad thing. I just kind of
go the same way.
Okay. I'm like, I just got like literally one day I just quit my job and here we are. But so I didn't really, I mean, I guess I've just always known I wanted to, keep growing, and I want to serve luxury clients. And so I just didn't feel like scared or nervous or any. I know that might sound weird, but I was just like, I'm gonna do this, and like I believe in myself. So I kind of just took it and went with it with what you guys said. I changed my business name. I updated my website. Just kind of like simplified things too, less wordy, but still, I gave it a personality. I still have my personality on my website and even Instagram, like a while back, I was posting everything that I ever created, which is, you have to post what you have, to start off. You have to start somewhere. So, but I think I had, films on my Instagram from like 2021, 2022, and I don't even edit the same way anymore. My color is completely different. My style is completely different. So going through y'all's Instagram challenge, I was like, wow, like I gotta archive this stuff. So I did all that. Just even little things like the way I send emails to clients too. Like, this is gonna sound so silly, but I love, the font, Garamond. That's what it's called. Yeah, I love that font. Yeah, I love that font. So like using that, it just looks nice. And I made a little signature for myself at the bottom of my email. And just little things like that really just kind of like elevate the way when my client sees it on the other end, it's like, what are they experiencing, And I even changed I used to use HoneyBook, and I switched to Dubsado, and I love it. So, and I've been booking, I think, like I said, around 6. My highest I booked this year was 7,300. So I'm really excited about that.
Amazing. This is amazing. So I think it opens so many people's eyes to talk about branding through this lens, because you're talking about fonts and email signatures and all of these different things. And I think that most people get stuck in the false belief that your brand is just your logo and your website, but it goes so much farther than that. It's like literally every touch point somebody within the industry or a client has with your brand is branding. It's the culmination of your existence as a company. And we love to say that consistency is luxury. Luxury is consistency. And so making sure all of those touch points have an equal value, and feel and vibe and aesthetic and everything is kind of true to you, just like the leveled up version of Madeline, right?
Yes. No, I love that. Yeah. Yep. And, like the whole font thing, it may seem silly, but it truly matters. And just the way you write your emails and the words that you're choosing, and you learn all that in the masterminds. So just saying.
We will go through your business with a fine-tooth comb.
Which is a very good thing. It was nerve-wracking, but I was ready for it. So
yeah. Okay. So you said something a little bit that kind of stood out to me, and that was your website. You updated it. It's looking a lot more clean, but it still feels like you. Can we talk about how your brand can continue feeling authentic to yourself, but in a leveled up way?
Yeah. I think even, including photos, like if you were to do a branding session, I think that's a really great way to have your site feel like you. You're not going to be all over your site, but having like a fun photo and then, maybe like a more professional one, I think that's a great way to, just show your personality, smiling, holding a bottle of champagne, or, anything that you like. But yeah, I think even colors, I love white. If I could wear white to all the weddings, I would. But
it's like the one color you can't wear.
I know. I did have an all-white wedding a couple weekends ago, which was great. I was like, this is my chance.
Love that.
Yeah, so I love white and neutrals. I'm a boring beige gal. So, just including little things like that. And even on like my About page, I have kind of a more... not simple, just kind of more of like a professional, like first 2 paragraphs, and then my last paragraph is kind of like about me and my life and my husband and our cats, and just kind of making we have 3. I'm a crazy cat lady and I'm proud of it, but yeah, just like letting the door open just a little bit into like your personal world, is really helpful on your website too, and it helps clients kind of connect with you and your personality, but also not, going too far in TMI, I think just like a couple, I think family is really important to me, my friends, and I'm a huge animal lover, so I want couples like that to be attracted to me, so that's why I put those little tidbits in there.
Yeah, whatever your clients are going to resonate with, I think are great things to infuse into your brand. And it's going to be different for everybody. Like some people's brands are so romantic and soft, while others are vibey and like fun times party. You know what I mean? So like whatever it is that you resonate with as an artist and as a human, I feel like that's what should be your brand and like the base of your brand. I like to say that like my brand voice is a little bit quippy and sarcastic, and my clients prefer maybe a little bit more of a celebratory, but still chic final
Yeah.
product. So I've infused those things into my brand as well. So it's kind of fun once you learn about branding. You can start looking at people who have executed brand well. You can kind of look at their brands, and it's almost like a window into their world. But like you said, it's just open a little crack.
Just a little bit, yeah. Yeah, you don't want to share too much, oversharing. But yeah, I think, you're going to attract what you put out there. And if your website is super fun and colorful and, you want to go towards the adventure space, like that's what you're going to attract. And I want couples who they like luxurious things, because I can be kind of bougie sometimes as well. But, I like them also to be laid back, and they love their families and they love their friends, and they just want to have a good time. Because I remember on my wedding day, I wanted to marry the love of my life, and I wanted to have the best day ever and just have fun. So that's what I want from other couples.
So you're very obviously growth minded. You are on this amazing path forward. And I think a lot of our listeners are going to be able to relate to you so much. And we've had a few people say that they would like to be able to hear what other people are struggling with and what's challenging them right now, because it gives them a great jumping off point of handling their own challenges. So what's something that maybe is feeling a little bit hard to you right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I just have to keep reminding myself that there's so many people out there who we're all struggling together. We're all finding our way through this, especially this year in 2024 when things can be a little weird. But yeah, I think I often find myself, I compare myself a lot to other filmmakers. And, I'm looking at someone's Instagram who's 10 plus years into their business, and I'm like, why am I even comparing myself to this person? Like, we are not the same at all. I'm 3 years in, they're 10 plus years in. Like, we're nowhere near the same. So why am I even comparing myself? I'm like, gosh, why are they getting these amazing weddings? And like, I just want that opportunity. So I just have to keep reminding myself it's coming. I just have to keep putting in the hard work, and it's going to pay off in the end if I'm patient and I just keep doing what I'm doing and not comparing myself. It's really hard, especially with Instagram, and you want to find inspiration, but you don't want to copy someone at the same time. So it's tough. But yeah, I would just say that I'm trying to think of what I want to say. Like, I just have to remind myself that people are booking me for a certain reason, and they like me for who I am. And if they don't book me, it's okay. And, they booked that other person for whatever reason. But I literally have just had a couple book me because of my personality alone. And, obviously they looked at my work and everything, but I booked them, or I got off the Zoom call with them, and they emailed me and they were like, we want to go with you because our personalities match so well. I was like, wow, like that's cool. And I'm like, wow, that's why I'm unique, because I am kind of like this, everybody says I'm like some social butterfly. Like I talk a lot, and I'm kind of just a bubbly person. So, and the bride and groom were just like that. So to circle back around, I think you just can't compare yourself to other people who aren't even on the same path as you. And because it's just not fair to yourself, and it's not fair to your business. I think just focusing on you and what you're doing and not what other people are doing around you is really important, because once you start focusing on what other people are doing, you can go down a deep, dark hole that isn't where your business is meant to go, or it can cause burnout, or, just you're not being authentic to yourself or your business.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a few ways that people tend to handle comparison in their minds. And the first one is exactly like you said. It's like comparing all the ways that you are inadequate almost, when it's not a fair comparison, because you can't compare your day one with someone else's day 100 kind of thing. But I think that if you don't have to eliminate comparison. I think that you can flip the perspective that you have on comparison and use it to fuel you and to show you what's possible. Because I truly believe that what's possible for one person is proof that that same outcome is possible for you as well. So I like to personally, like, I've struggled with that too. And over the past few years, I've been, a lot of self-development, a lot of books read, a lot of podcasts listened to. And I feel like I've gotten myself into a really, really great habit of using that as like fuel and as drive for my potential. So I feel like if we can kind of flip it around and say, oh my gosh, no way. Kelly with 618 Studios booking $25,000 weddings. Like, why am I not like that? You know what I mean? It's like, oh my gosh. Flipping the script to that's possible for me if I keep at it for the next few years. Like I can be sitting there too. Like I feel like it's so empowering to like look at it through that lens.
I agree, and not looking at it in like a jealous way, because that can be harmful, and because there's so many people here in Charleston who are amazing filmmakers, and I'm competing with them every day, but I'm also friends with them too. So it's very interesting. It's a weird kind of balance. We talk about it a lot, but when someone books a wedding over me, like, yeah, obviously, it's kind of like, oh, darn. But at the same time, it's just like, wow, like good for them. And that's how you kind of want to look at it. Not trying to compare yourself with them. And it also just opens up a door to another possibility maybe in the future.
That's so true. Yeah. Every no and every door shut is another door opened somewhere else for a different possibility and a different opportunity. So that's such like a positive way to look at things. And I think that people who have that perspective in life and in business are just a little bit happier overall. So we can all aim to be that way.
I agree.
Okay, amazing. So looking to the future, let's say I want to know what your plan is for the next 12 months or so. So we're sitting here, the day of recording, it is July 29th of 2024. So what's your 12-month plan?
Let's see. I definitely have a lot of weddings this year that I'm really looking forward to. Client-wise, photographer-wise, planner-wise. So I'm just really going to walk into those weddings just really excited, really, honored, and do the best I can. And I love the editing part of things, so I could edit all day. But yeah, so filming those. And then I think just, perfecting my website, keep the content going, but at the same time, I used to worry so much about posting on Instagram, and I was like, oh gosh, I have to post like every week, but I've come to realize that that is not the case. So yeah, I think I really would like to raise my prices as well. I did a price increase at the beginning of this year, so next year I really want my minimum to be starting at 6, and just really push myself and just hold out for all the good stuff coming. And yeah, I think right now everyone's kind of chatting about how weird this year has been, but I've really held strong to my pricing, and that's what I'm going to continue doing. Another thing I'm implementing in my business right now would just be kind of in dressing to impress. You want to look the part, and I used to show up to weddings looking nice, but not to the caliber that I would want. Sometimes my husband comes and helps me at weddings, and I'm like, you gotta wear a suit, and he's like, what? I have to wear a suit? So yeah, I think just dressing to impress, because that can really come off well with the planners and even the guests. I've had a guest one time pull me aside, and they were like, thank you for dressing nice. And then they just walked away. And I was like, wow, that was interesting, because I didn't think people were really looking at me, but they definitely do. And you kind of just want to blend in. Yeah, so just dressing nice, dressing for the part, and looking professional, and just being a team player too. Sometimes you have to do things at weddings that you're not, contracted for. Just helping out, and I've learned that a lot, and just being a team player.
Yeah, it's so true that you'll get referrals from people not generally because of your work, it's because how it is to work with you. The experience that you provide and all of those things that kind of go on behind the scenes that the client may never be aware of. Others are taking note of, whether that be the photographer, or if you're a photographer listening, the filmmaker, the planner, even people who you may not think are in a position to give you referrals, may be referral sources that we would say are a little sneaky, like florists, makeup artists, venue managers. All of these people are talking about you, and the beauty is we can kind of control the narrative whenever people are in discussion about us, because they're going to be talking about how it was to work with you. So if you make a really positive impression, that's only going to do great things for the brand.
Yeah, so true. And even bridesmaids.
Yeah,
they're always watching.
Yep. It's highly likely that the wedding party on both sides, they're probably in the same age range, a similar, I hate to say it, but like a similar socioeconomic, place in life. And they may very well be getting married in the next 12, 24, 36 months. And if you make a really great impression, that could be a wedding down the line.
Yeah, so I would love at least 3 destinations a year. One day I want to have a family, so I want to, be able to be at home with them, and yeah, which is a really big reason why I even started the started attending the mastermind, because less weddings every year. That's the goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like that's the goal for so many. And as soon as it clicks in people's minds that the only way to make that possible while earning the same amount of money is truly to enter the luxury market, like that's the goal. And you know what? I think that there's a few ways to look at it. People who have like a scarcity mindset might think, well, such a small number of the population has budgets that can sustain the artists who seek that market out. But what they fail to realize is that the wedding industry is only growing. People are spending more and more money on their weddings every year. More people are entering that luxury sector, and I'm talking about clients. More and more clients are seeing the value of spending more money on their weddings. Multi-day events are becoming more and more popular. So although, yes, it may be true that more artists like ourselves are seeking that market out, it's also true that more and more clients are entering that space and spending more money as well. So I think that if filmmakers and photographers are not trying to get to the luxury space, there's actually going to be not enough of us to be able to shoot their weddings, honestly. So that's kind of how I look at it. I think especially with social media, TikTok, all of these things, like we've talked about comparison in our fields, and clients have comparison with other brides' weddings as well, and they want to outdo each other. And if you have the means to do it, they're going to spend the money in order to do it. So I just think the wedding industry has yet to see its peak. I think we're growing, and it's just going to go up from there. I mean, do you ever look back at movies from like the early 2000s or the 90s, and like what is depicted as a wedding in these movies? It's always just like red roses and like the tulle, like aisle runners and stuff. Like we've come so far as an industry. Like now it's like people would not even be able to comprehend what weddings. Yeah. So what is it going to look like in another 10 years? You know what I mean? People are just going to spend more and more money. So
yeah.
We're in a good place.
Yeah. My first full year of business was 2022, and I did 33 weddings. And I was like, yep, this is great. This is what I want to do. And then I was like, nope, that's a lot of weddings. So I was like, well, I didn't really have a weekend. So yeah, I mean, it served me well with like the price point that I had to do it to, live and pay rent and all the other bills that, everybody has to pay. So I had to do what I had to do, and you have to start somewhere. But the whole point of, progressing in my business is so I can get to a point where, something, I think Kelly said it, or I can't remember who said it, but somebody was like, I want to be able to have weekends where I can go see dance recitals, I can go to soccer games, I can do all these things, and I'm like, yeah, like that's what I want to do, and I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll wrap it up here soon, but I think that's what clicks in a lot of people's minds, is looking at the reality of being in this industry while having a family. Is sure, when you're single and, oh my gosh, like this sounds like such an old lady, like a footloose and fancy free kind of thing. Like giving up all your Saturdays isn't a huge deal. But once your kids are in school and you're not seeing them all week practically because they're in school, and then you're also gone every single weekend, like it becomes like really, really hard. Like my oldest is going into third grade, and then I have a first grader, and then my youngest, she's just 2.5, so she floats around. But during the school year, like that time is so precious. And then over the summer, when we have a 10-week block of them being home, that time is even more precious. So if I can personally like dial it back to where I'm only shooting 8 weddings a year, like down from 20 or whatever, like that makes a happy mom. And so I think a lot of people can kind of relate.
And even if you don't want to have kids, it's like just having weekends to travel and doing more, fun things, even doing like traveling for a shoot. Like that's fun in my opinion. And it's kind of like you're not working, but you're working at the same time. And because filming weddings every weekend and then having, like I've had, so many weddings in a backlog before, it has been crazy. So not having that feeling is what I want to get to. But yeah, even if you don't want to have kids, having weekends, just to do whatever you want, travel and do fun things that give you inspiration just to continue with the rest of the season is what, I'm looking for.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, the goal is to not have your business run you. We want to just run our businesses. So
Yep.
Yeah. Well, this has been so great, Madeline. Thank you for this last, oh my gosh, we're going on almost an hour. So Great conversation.
I think I do talk too much.
No, you talk the perfect amount. But if somebody doesn't already know where to find you online, where can they do that?
Yeah, so my website is MadelineKuzminskyFilms.com, and same on Instagram at Madeline Kuzminsky Films. I don't really have a TikTok. So Instagram and website is, about the 2 things that you need.
Thank you for joining us in today's conversation. Please help us reach more filmmakers and photographers like you by taking a screenshot and sharing it to social media. And don't forget to tag us at The Level Up Co.
And join us again next week, same time, same place, as we continue to level up the industry together.